run deep 30 years after the heinous murder of a 15-year-old boy as his friend finally learns of an arrest. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Loved ones have been waiting for this day ever since Dewan Emerson's nude and mutilated body was found dumped in a culvert near his Valencia Park home back in 1987.
CBS News 8's Richard Allen is live at the Central Jail tonight with what broke this case and what we've learned about the man accused. Richard?
And Carlo and Barbara Lee, that man is 56-year-old Russell Taylor. He had been serving prison time for narcotics when his DNA matched with evidence found at that cold case scene 30 years ago. He is now being held here at Central Jail without bail, charged with the first-degree murder of Dewan Emerson.
That's the brother I never had.
Growing up in Valencia Park, Denise Barnes was close friends with Dewan Emerson.
A stand-up guy.
The morning of April 29, 1987, the 15-year-old boy's body was found, nude, bound, strangled, and sexually assaulted, dumped in a culvert near a set of train tracks near Barnes' home on Naranja Street.
Man, he had a bright future.
A Lincoln High freshman and junior ROTC member, Dewan was beloved by family and friends who spoke days after his slaying.
Very quiet, gentle, very loving child.
By his good work. He was a good person.
And when we found out it was a child, it was like just, crushing.
Isla Stiles has lived on Naranja since the 60s and says young Dewan's unsolved murder had haunted her for the past 3 decades.
You just feel that he never got justice.
Until now, investigators recently reopened the case, reanalyzing evidence collected at the 1987 crime scene using 21st century forensic technology.
And in this case, we were able to develop a DNA profile from evidence that was recovered at the time of the murder.
That DNA profile matched one in law enforcement's database, 56-year-old Russell Taylor, who had been serving a 25-year sentence in San Quentin on a drug conviction. He's now charged with Dewan's violent murder.
Justice.
Justice 30 years in coming.
DNA is a wonderful thing, a blessing to have closure.
And investigators are also trying to track down a teenage boy who was spotted running along the 5100 block of Groveland Drive the night of Dewan's murder. That was just a block away from where Dewan's body was found. He may be possibly another victim in this case. Anyone with possible information on that is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 888-580-8477.
Welcome back, my true crime kings and queens. Welcome back to another episode on the San Diego Dark Crime Channel. If you have not subscribed by this time, please make sure you hit that post notification bell so that way you do not miss another case with us. You can also follow us on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere a podcast is streaming. Also TikTok and Instagram, Snap soon, and YouTube. Anyways, let's dive into this case back in 1987, and this is the case of 15-year-old Dewan Lee Emerson. So if you are ready to join us, go ahead and join us in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dewan Lee Emerson was born on September 9th, 1971 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His family would later relocate to Southern California, where he would attend Lincoln High School as a sophomore in 1987 in San Diego, California. He was an active member for the ROTC program with the hopes of joining the military shortly after high school. Neighbors and his peers would describe him as being a very respectable young teen who many will look up to as a big brother figure. On April 28, 1987, 15-year-old Dewan Emerson would receive a knock around 11:30 p.m. at his Valencia Park home located on the 5400 block of Naranja Street. Upon answering the door, Dewan would be greeted by an unknown person who he would describe to his mother as a friend. He said he knew this friend and he would step out for just a moment just to speak to this unknown individual and would be right back in the house shortly. This would be the last time that 15-year-old Dewan Lee Emerson was last seen alive by his mother. In the morning hours of April 29, 1987, two city transit workers for the San Diego Trolley will come across a grisly discovery while conducting a maintenance check. They will come across the nude and mutilated body of a young African-American male in a flood ditch channel who appeared to be deceased on the 5400 block of Naranja Street. The trolley workers would call 911 after the discovery, and soon after that, the San Diego police detectives would flood the scene and begin their investigation. They would soon identify this young male as 15-year-old Dewan Lee Emerson. This is where I want to put my trigger warning to some of you sensitive viewers. The case that you're about to hear contains graphic details and disturbing events that may be sensitive to some of my viewers or listeners, so please listen at your own discretion is advised. Dewan's body was nude and bloody and mutilated. He had been assaulted and also strangled. Detectives from the SD Police Department would canvass the scene for more evidence and collect swab samples that was taken from the body of Dewan. They began to interview neighbors and family and friends with the hopes of finding out who had taken this 15-year-old boy's life. After interviewing many individuals, detectives will come across a witness who described the night of Dewan's demise. He or she witnessed a young African-American male who stood about 6 feet tall. He was chubby and wearing a white torn shirt with blue sweats, running from the scene where Dewan's body was found. They also described the young male to be visibly shaken and screaming that someone was chasing him. Unfortunately, that lead did not produce any results because the young male was never identified. Detectives believe that he too was also a victim as well. Dewan Emerson's case would go completely cold for 30 years without any new leads or new suspects until 2017, when DNA analysis would advance and Dewan Emerson's case would be reopened by the new detectives of the San Diego Cold Case Team, and they will begin resampling the swab samples from the 1987 crime scene of Dewan Emerson. Their efforts would finally pay off, and in 2017, a DNA profile would finally match 56-year-old Russell Taylor of San Diego, California. Russell Taylor was already serving a 25-year sentence at the San Quentin prison in California for an unrelatable crime at the time that his DNA was confirmed and matched to be the suspect that had taken the life of 15-year-old Dewan Lee Emerson. Russell Taylor will be convicted and pled guilty for taking the life of 15-year-old Dewan Emerson. He will be sentenced to life in prison. Russell Taylor had also tried to take the lives of 2 other people just 2 months after he took the life of Dewan Emerson. He was only 26 years old when he took the life of 15-year-old Dewan Lee Emerson. Please continue to pray for the family of Dewan Lee Emerson as justice have been served. And rest in peace to Dewan Lee Emerson. May your legacy continue to live on with those who miss you the most. Don't forget to love each other, pray for each other, and be nice to each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share for more of these cases and great content. Until next time, thanks for watching.